Alright y'all, the time has finally come for me to play Pokerogue. If you're not familiar with Pokerogue, it's basically a game where you have non-stop battles until you reach the end and battle the boss alternatives. You can catch Pokemon and collect items along the way to help you on your journey, and if you wipe out, you have to start from the beginning. So with all that being said, let's jump right in. So before we get into the run that I won, let's talk about what I did beforehand and what I learned about the game. 1. Use a legendary. I don't care if every fiber of your being is telling you, I don't want to use legendaries, they're too OP. I want to beat the game with regular Pokemon. Do me a favor, shut up. Having a legendary allows you to cruise through the early game and not have to worry about much. 2. Fuecoco, gotta have one. Torch Song, mwah, chef's kiss. And with stat boost being permanent until the end of the world, mwah, stop playing. 3. Prankster. Y'all don't understand how clutch Leech Seed was against that boss Eternatus and everything else too, but mainly the boss Eternatus. Let me tell y'all, Whimsicott was throwing her seed everywhere. Hey, yo! Anyway, my first couple of runs were complete failures. I tried to use M&J TV's team, which had Fuecoco and Bulbasaur, and I just brought Froakie along as a +1 because, you know, gotta have him, but it didn't work. See, I tried to level up multiple Pokemon at once in the early game, so when it came time to fight bosses and stuff, my team was just weak. So after that, I just decided to focus on one Pokemon, maybe 2, and let everyone else catch up with experience. This game also allowed me to appreciate Pokemon who I would never even take a glance at, especially Varoom. I didn't use it on my final team, but man, it was good. Shift Gear plus Iron Head is more lethal than Jordan in his prime. Can't convince me otherwise. We pissing off old heads today. And also, every trainer in this game loves switching. You sub in a Pokemon their Pokemon is weak against, they switch out. You sub in a Pokemon that Pokemon's weak against, they switch again. This can go on forever and is the reason I lost many runs. Then I hatched my first legendary, Palkia. And that's when I realized how busted legendaries were, especially early game, which is why I said, bring a legendary. Palkia would be a huge game changer, but like the others, it would eventually reach its limits. Then I hatched a Mewtwo, which got me further, but still fell short. By this point, the furthest I've gotten was the Ivy battle where she has the shiny Rayquaza. But then, I discovered Marshadow. I cruised through the first world, catching a Cottonee with Prankster in the process. I'ma be honest, I would have never even taken a glance at Cottonee if it wasn't for M&J TV's video. Marshadow made most of this game fairly easy, mainly because of Technician. Technician is an ability that boosts the weakest move in your moveset, so when Marshadow learned Thunder Punch, it was over for anybody but normal types. I evolved Cottonee on wave 29, then on wave 60 I fought Clay, who I lost to. So I just reset the tab and tried again. Look, I know it's weird, but like, I just wanted to finish the game. Clay was able to knock out both Marshadow and Skeledirge, but Whimsicott came in clutch, so I was able to move on. On wave 72 I found a Pheasantipity, and I tried everything in my power to catch it, cause if this run failed, I could start with a fairy type that's a legendary, or sub-legendary according to the game. After about 5 minutes I caught Pheasantipity, then fought my rival on wave 95, and thanks to Special Thief, Shawty was a distant memory. After that, everything was pretty much a cakewalk. I was beating Pokemon, trainers, bosses, without even putting in a thought. Then Giovanni popped up, so I had to turn my brain back on. I didn't have any counters from Nidoking, but y'all already know what we do in these types of situations. Spray pray! I was able to take out most of his Pokemon up until Rhyperior, who I took out with Whimsicott. It was pretty chill up until Janine popped up. Her Crobat took out my Marshadow, so I reset again. Yeah, my fault. Second time I wiped out her team with Marshadow except Crobat and Toxicroak, who I took out with Skeledirge. I caught a King Gambit on wave 135, then on wave 140 I caught the boss Hisuian Samurott, which I didn't even know you could do. I met my rival on wave 145, which was where I was beaten earlier. I got rid of one of her Charizard's health bars, then it took out Skeledirge. She switches to Florges to try and take out Samurott, but I was able to 2-shot her with Aqua Tail. She sends out Flamigo and then switches to King Gambit, then shiny Rayquaza. I'm telling y'all bro, they love switching. I was able to take out most of her Pokemon, even the Rayquaza, but my Pokemon were cooked, so I lost. On my second attempt, third, actually fourth, nah, fifth. Yeah, this battle's no joke. Eventually, I was able to beat her thanks to Charizard Flare Blitzing itself to death. After that battle, it was nothing but mindlessly spamming Skeledirge and Marshadow until I got to Giovanni. I took out his Excadrill, Mewtwo, and Kangaskhan with Marshadow. His Tyranitar missed both his Thunders, allowing me to get the knockout, and I took out his Hippowdon and Gastrodon with Whimsicott. More mindless spamming later, and we get to the end part of the game, you know, with the Elite Four and all that. How it works is you get a random region's Elite Four on waves 182, 184, 186, and 188, and on wave 190 you fight the champion. I got the Johto Elite Four, so I wasn't worried one bit. I soloed Will with Marshadow, took out Koga's Crobat with Marshadow and his Drapion with Skeledirge, then cleaned him out with Kingambit. KO'd Bruno's Golem, Machamp, Lilligant, and Hitmonlee with Marshadow, then his Gallade and Hitmonchan with Fezandipity. For Karen, I took out her Bombardier and Umbreon with Samurott, her Houndoom and Weavile with Fezandipity, then her Honchkrow and Greninja with Marshadow. Lance kept switching out his Seismitoad every 5 seconds, which was pretty annoying, but eventually I was able to get it with Night Slash. I KO'd his Aerodactyl with Fezandipity, then his Latias got Fezandipity and Marshadow with Mist Ball. His Dragonite took out Skeledirge, so I was left with Whimsicott, who pulled off the greatest clutch since Jordan against Cleveland. When I tell you this man came out and hit everybody with the left freaking Moonblast and turned everyone to pixie dust and whatnot, I couldn't even believe my eyes. I will forever have respect for Whimsicott after that. Now time for the last two important battles, the final rival battle and Eternatus. I get her Charizard down to 1 bar, then her Mega Rayquaza down to 3 before Skeledirge went down. I then KO her Flamigo with Kingambit, her Kingambit with Samurott, her Florges, Charizard, and Kilowattrel with Fezandipity, then her Rayquaza with Whimsicott, who clutched again with Reviver Seed. Yo, why is Whimsicott slowly becoming one of my favorite Pokemon? Now for Eternatus. The battle starts and I decided to hold off on Leech Seed until after Eternatus went into Eternamax form, because once you get Eternatus down to 1 bar, it will transform and reset everything. So if I used Leech Seed beforehand, it would have went away. I triggered Eternamax Eternatus, then used Leech Seed, which did a lot more damage than when I attacked with normal moves. So you know, balls were sweating. Eventually it was left with Skeledirge and Marshadow, the two Pokemon who've been with me since the start. And I was just spamming. You can hear my controller in the recording. I was spamming that out. This fight was stressing me out, but in the end, we pulled through. Did it. We did it.
What do we do?
We did it.
What do we do?
We did it.
What do we do?
I beat Classic Mode.
You beat Clash of Clans?
No.
Oh.
And yeah, that concludes my Pokerogue run. Am I going to play this again? Hell no! It did feel amazing to finally beat this game after going at it for like 3 weeks now, so I can rest. What you got Radical Red to work on? Oh my goodness. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching this. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.